Good morning. I'm Reverend Rob Banaszak, and I'm the pastor of the Institute for Spiritual Development in Washington, D.C. And I'm so very happy that we have come together today in this space without walls, which we co-create as a community with inspiration, imagination, and intention. From wherever you are, and wherever I am, we align in worship and fellowship together as a community, as the Institute for Spiritual Development. The Institute for Spiritual Development is a God-centered, spiritually inclusive, metaphysical church and community cultivating growing spiritual awareness in an atmosphere of unconditional love and acceptance. And of course, as always, I say, welcome home. Let us pray. Here I am, I announced to the dawn. I am here, the day proclaims. Here we are, we affirm to each other. We are here, we declare in our hearts. As parts, we have gathered to become our whole being, a community of souls revealing a spirit. May the good life that we seek be revealed as we pray. May the richness of living be our prayer each day. And so it is. And now let us recite together the Lord's Prayer, Lamsa translation, which will appear on your screen. Our Father in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, Thy will be done, as in heaven, so on earth. Give us bread for our needs from day to day, and forgive us our offenses as we forgive our offenders. And do not let us enter into temptation, but deliver us from error. For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever and ever. Amen. And now we will recite together the principles of understanding that unite us, which will appear on your screen. And I invite you to maybe take a step back today and listen to the words, knowing that these are the guiding principles of the community that is the Institute for Spiritual Development. We believe in infinite intelligence. We believe that infinite intelligence expresses itself in all existence and in humanity as a manifestation of divine love. We affirm the unity of all life everywhere. We believe in communion with all planes of existence and that meaningful communication flows from this connection. We affirm the divine right of each individual to seek the truth in accordance with their consciousness, and that living in harmony with that truth defines true spirituality. We affirm that spiritual unfoldment is progressive and unending, and that the doorway to reformation is never closed against any soul. We believe that the highest morality is contained in the mandate, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. We affirm the personal responsibility of the individual, and that we choose our happiness or unhappiness as we apply the laws of the universe. We affirm that life is eternal, and that the existence and personal identity of the individual continue after the change called death. We believe the ultimate expression of God in our life is unconditional love of our neighbors and ourselves. We accept that the living gifts of prophecy and healing reported in all sacred scripture are an affirmation of divine spirit working through us. And now we will enter into what we call the wholeness and well-being part of our service. As I read the prayer following, silently reflect on a person or an experience in your lives or in the world that you believe needs more well-being. So let us pray. O divine healer, hear our prayer. May we remember that our physical selves are expressions of divine mind, and that our well-being is an alignment of our thought with you, the Creator, made manifest through cosmic imagination. As a community, help us heal, strengthen, and invigorate our earthly presence through our eternal souls and those people and experiences we now speak from our lips aloud. O divine healer, hear our prayer. And now let us prepare for some moments of meditation today. And so I invite you to get into a comfortable position, whatever works for you, one that you might not fall asleep necessarily. So if you're sitting up, make sure your back is against the seat. Make sure your hands are placed with your palms firmly open, firmly but gently in your lap, and leave them open so that you can receive the message that we will be meditating on today. And so we're going to begin our meditation just by paying attention to our breath. Paying attention as it enters our body through the nose, as it fills our body, and then as we exhale it slowly and deliberately. Breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in and breathe out. Again, breathe in and breathe out. And so today, I'm going to invite you to relax with every breath that you draw more and more. Inhaling with intention and exhaling. And I invite you to just listen to the words I'm about to speak and imagine yourself as the word that I call out. These are words that we know of a good life. Breathing with intention. Relax. Curiosity. Creativity. Inspiration. Innovation. Determination. Unity. Diversity. Harmony. Collaboration. Cooperation. Fellowship. friendship, connection, intimacy, openness, vulnerability, enrichment, empathy, anticipation, expectancy, enthusiasm, opportunity, healing, wholeness, healing, wholeness. I want to just realize our breathing is still keeping us anchored to this space, to our material body. As we recognize it as part of our life system, let us intentfully breathe in through our nose once more and exhale. Again, inhale and exhale. Again, inhale. And on this last exhale, let's open our eyes and return to our bodies. I say welcome back. I hope you were able to absorb these words. These words are words that we know of a life that is a good life. Words that reflect our living in a good life. And so our reading today is from the book On Becoming a Person by Carl Rogers. The Greater Richness of Life. One last implication I should like to mention is that this process of living in the good life involves a wider range a greater richness than the constricted living in which most of us find ourselves. To be a part of this process means that one is involved in the frequently frightening and frequently satisfying experience of a more sensitive living, with greater range, greater variety, greater richness. It seems to me that clients who have moved significantly in therapy live more intimately with their feelings of pain, but also more vividly with their feelings of ecstasy. That anger is more clearly felt, but so also is love. That fear is an experience that they know more deeply, but so is courage. And the reason they can thus live fully in a wider range is that they have this underlying confidence in themselves as trustworthy instruments for encountering life. I believe it will have become evident why, for me, adjectives such as happy, contented, blissful, enjoyable do not seem quite appropriate to any general description of this process I have called the good life, even though the person in this process would experience each one of these feelings at appropriate times. But the adjectives which seem more generally fitting are adjectives such as enriching, exciting, rewarding, challenging, meaningful. This process of the good life is not, I am convinced, a life for the faint-hearted. It involves stretching and growing of becoming more and more of one's potentialities. It involves the courage to be. It means launching oneself fully into the stream of life. Yet the deeply exciting thing about human beings is that when the individual is inwardly free, he chooses the good life, this process of becoming. And that was by Carl Rogers, and the book was On Becoming a Person. So, in preparing for this homily or thinking about what I was going to talk about today, I stumbled upon this book on my shelf from my college psychology years. And I just happened to turn to this page and was blown away by what I had just read. I flipped through the book and then found even more absolutely fascinating passages. The book is beautifully expressed. It presents a positive perspective of the human experience and the possibilities of a successful therapeutic experience. Now, Carl Rogers was a revolutionary psychologist and psychotherapist in the 1960s, and so he approached therapy from a completely different perspective than his peers. Others in the field were thinking of the individual as an object, stimulus response, operant conditioning, learning theory. And then, of course, the Freudian dialogues about our being that no one seemed willing to go beyond, says Dr. Rogers. But Rogers is the, I guess, the inventor or the presenter of the client-centered approach to therapy, which most of us have probably experienced at some point. And this means that he's focusing on the person's life and how they were living in the real world. His premise was that a healthy, productive, therapeutic relationship, and that's what this book is about, would not necessarily conclude with a set outcome that would be a done deal. So hypnotize to get rid of something or undergo some sort of psychological training or mind controlling hypnosis that would change a behavior. his feeling was the experience of therapy itself is really about the journey and not the destination. And so the phrase becoming a person is a lifelong experience. And so living a good life is not a certified accomplishment. It's not a door you walk through. It's a door that is open permanently for us. Now, of course, we've heard many of these ideas in the works of our own metaphysical writers and community. You know, the ones breaking free of perceived limitations, seeing possibilities, realizing potentials, believing in ourselves. These are all aspects of Roger's approach to therapy. But why it was so amazing to me was I'd always been remembering my first ahas about this experience of humanity, of being in the world and having the world be of me, was when I read Shakti Gawain and Louise Hay, you know, creative visualization and you can heal your life. But when I found this book this week, it reminded me that it was here in these pages in the coursework that I had studied in college that I actually had my very first epiphanies about what it meant to live in a good life or live my best authentic self, which is definitely the buzzword these days. And I began to remember how some of these concepts really resonated with me. I mean, I was 18, 20 years old, coming from not a strict Roman Catholic background, but certainly one that did not express life as something to be lived this vibrantly, this voraciously. And I remembered all of a sudden the exhilaration that I had when I got these concepts, like they made sense to me. And they seemed to be very foreign to many of my classmates. Roger's approach to therapy, talking about the meaning of life and why we're here and our expectations of humanity. Well, you know, they were born in the 60s. This was an idea. This was a woo-woo concept. This was focusing on something that people hadn't focused on before. But yet, I remember distinctly understanding this and wanting to know more. So, flash forward, finding this book suddenly made me reconnect with those phrases, becoming a person, living in the good life. And more than 30 years later, I am well aware that it is a lifelong experience, like it or not. But I also realized we may always become something or more of something as we get older, but becoming a person, becoming our authentic person, or living in the good life is not guaranteed, because those are ways of living that must be consciously intended lifelong choices. And in many ways, I realize that I have become kind of cavalier, if not cynical, about how much more I really think I was going to be able to become. Or whether I'm just too old, too lazy, too jaded to pursue living in the good life the way Rogers describes it. Also, in preparation for today's homily, as I kind of sorted through some old files once I found this college book, I stumbled across my digital daily journals from, I think, 1994 through 1997, which really, in many ways, I consider my golden years of life. I was a young adult, just turned, it was around 31, 32, but I had volumes and volumes of really heartfelt musings of a young and sensitive and angsty, but also hopeful and optimistic man. Now, this is a man, as I read, who had his life ahead of him, whose very dramatic journal entries reflected someone who wanted to overcome fears and insecurities and limited thinking, and believed with all his heart that he could and that he would. I was really almost in a stupor reading entry after entry. I was in awe of this young man's youthful resilience. I was in awe of his dedication and his tenacity to becoming a person. And it made me sad, a little melancholy. Now, as a minister, which I've been since 2013, I have loved helping others to become the spiritual person they want to be. I live for the spiritual ahas I've witnessed and successes that I've seen unfold for those who may have sought out my wisdom or my insight about something in their lives. And certainly, while that experience of helping others does play a part in my own becoming, I also think that focusing on others may have helped me avoid or neglect my own conscious becoming over the last several years. Because you know what? Becoming is hard. It's hard. When we began to close for the pandemic, Reverend Olivia Hunter proposed a book discussion circle at the very beginning. And I thought it was a great idea. I mean, I've been taking or teaching class at ISD since 2008, believe it or not. But in these book discussion sessions, something truly magic began to happen as we signed into Zoom every Tuesday night, as we sign into Zoom continually every Tuesday night to discuss several different self-help metaphysical books. Some of them narratives, some of them how-tos. And there were a few of us who were and are there every week since the group started. And so a year and a half later, we've really gotten to know each other. It's almost like a development circle. And my colleagues and peers in these sessions are all in now as a result of getting to know one another. They're open to real, substantive discussion about the books that we're reading, even if they don't like the book, because they seek understanding for parts of the book that they don't get or even may not agree with. They are enthusiastic and energized by the experience of being together for this weekly experience to discuss and share. One might even say that they were becoming. And for more than a year, I have enjoyed having the door cracked ajar for a renewal of my own becoming trajectory. But then we started on the book that we are now reading currently in the summer of 2021, The Course in Miracles Experiment. And as I said before, this book is a delightfully accessible perspective on this voluminous Course in Miracles. It's distilled and it really focuses on the exercises that are in the big Course in Miracles. And that book that we are working with brought us the absolutely delightful Jim and Kate, who added their energy to our regular discussions that we've been having for a year. And these two are Course in Miracles super fans. Their energy was like a B12 shot to this group. And we were already a pretty energized group of regulars. But Jim and Kate had been doing as a couple the daily assignment from the Course in Miracles workbook, the actual Course in Miracles workbook. I mean, really doing it, not just reading it and pretending to do it or saying that they're going to do it or kind of retrofitting it later. They were really doing it faithfully every day for like 5 years. Now, I often skip the workbook exercises in books like this or those end of chapter reflections. It slows down my reading of the book, right? I can get back to those later. But here they were sharing their stories about doing these exercises every day. And what those exercises are really applying metaphysical concepts. And the Course has them. We talk about them in the Kabbalion and Abraham Hicks. But they were applying, these are direct applications of these concepts to their day-to-day living. They're short, they're sweet, and as the book says, you don't have to get it or believe it, you just have to do it. So they would apply these exercises to their daily life, and then they would come together as a couple or with their other group members to discuss how applying it in their lives shifted their lives for them, and to share how they might be growing as a result of that application. And they also would say with complete and utter sincerity that as a result of doing this work, they were living better. They were living in this good life that Carl Rogers is talking about. And just imagining them now, realizing that they were and are courageously, tenaciously, faithfully, sometimes begrudgingly, sometimes enthusiastically becoming. And what a wake-up call it has been. I often speak right here in this forum about applying our principles to our daily lives and the importance of consciously doing so. A lot, because I think it's important. But Jim and Kate are living proof of the actual results of a daily practice like this. And they reminded us that, yes, becoming is hard, or at least it can be. And where Carl Rogers writes of becoming a person and living in a good life as really the process of a therapeutic relationship, we can connect with fellow becomers in groups, in a group setting, for the support and the encouragement and the fellowship and the love that can help making our becoming an exciting and hope-filled and ongoing experience. A true miracle, says the Course in Miracles, from a spiritual perspective. And every day is the opportunity to become more of who we are, that person living in a good life. And so now I ask you, is this becoming a process only for a person? It's a trick question. What about becoming a community? Last week we announced a huge and pivotal and practically unbelievable decision that we've had to make as ISD leaders. We're putting the church building, on the market. Naturally, this is a course of events that is profoundly disruptive to the church life that we've known, particularly before the pandemic. Many of us, many of you, are having visceral reactions to this decision. Intense denial, anticipatory loss, resistance to the change, advanced grief. Y'all know, I know you do. And of course, we're asking, What's to become of us? Of course, we're all wondering this. We all want to know where we're going to land when it's all over. Are we going to rent? Are we going to buy a new permanent home? Are we going to continue online services and have events? Are we going to survive this disruption? And so, once again, let me ask with full dramatic flair, what's to become of us? That is, what are we becoming? Or how are we becoming? Yes, right now it seems like an overwhelming question. And as we've acknowledged several times in the last couple of weeks, of course, we are all wondering this. Yes, we want to know where we're going to be when it's all said and done. But even if we can't know that right now, what we can know is that Institute for Spiritual Development, Washington, D.C., has been around since 1986. We've held our events at several locations in the early days until our journey led us to our current building. And yes, our current building has been a thriving, wonderful, stressful, energizing, aggravating, enriching part of our good life. So, in fact, we have been becoming a community since our founding, which means we are becoming a community as we speak. And what, who, and how we become is as much in your hands as it is in mine. Together, as we are about to enter the late days of summer and my birthday week, let us affirm that we are becoming a community. One that Rogers says about a person, a community that is enriching, exciting, rewarding, challenging, and meaningful. A community that encourages stretching and growing of becoming and more of our potentialities. I don't know about you, but that sounds like a good life indeed. Thank you. Let us give thanks. Let us pray. Our loving Father, Mother, God, thank you for the preciousness of this moment we have created and are experiencing right now. Thank you for the joy of connecting one another however we can, and for the serenity of connecting and becoming our deepest self. Thank you for each opportunity that we are given to know and to express this blazing, illuminating sunlight within each of us through love, fellowship, and service. And so it is. And now let us enter into the prosperity section of our service. And I invite you to relax and really think about the abundance of gifts in your life. And as you do, allow yourself to experience that deep appreciation for that abundance. Because we can always proclaim then that divine love always has and divine love always will answer all of our needs. If you are a regular member or a congregant, you can make your weekly offering through our virtual collection plate. It's on our website, and I'm going to cut and paste the link into our Zoom meeting today, right now. There we go. And now we're going to add our highest energies together at this time of disruption and excitement and exhilaration to claim the care and growth and evolution of our beloved spiritual community as a joyful responsibility. We will say this together. Infinite Spirit, at this blessed gathering today, we celebrate the divinity of all that is. We honor the Institute for Spiritual Development as a living entity, brought to extraordinary life by the presence of everyone here now, by the essence of the ancestors who have come before us, and by the imagination of the souls who will come after us, carrying her into the future. We ask you to give us strength to heed her call of stewardship, so together we can make her who she was created to be, a beacon guiding all spiritual seekers to a deepening connection to the divine within. May we always encourage, inspire, and energize one another in sharing our gifts, talents, and resources to ensure our spiritual community's life, longevity, and legacy. Amen. And I'm going to offer a few announcements today. And I'd first like to thank the readers and the clients who participated in our first morning, evening psychic fair day. A lot of readings, lots of success, a lot of fun, different time schedulings, and it really worked for us. So look for, as we move forward, we're going to try some things as we move forward, different times that we can make most convenient for you as a participant or you as a volunteer reader. But we were really delighted yesterday, and I think everybody had a great time. So thank you all for your flexibility. We had some tech issues we worked out. Some people were getting up earlier than usual. Some people were staying up later than usual. So I'm so grateful. We have other things coming up starting today. After today's service at 1 o'clock, we are once again holding with our partner Bill Standa the Akashic Records healing session. We've got spaces available, so we're going to do it online. It starts at 1 o'clock. It will go to, well, depending on how many people, but it should go roughly till 5. It is a beautiful experience. It is both intense and also energizing. And you really get a chance to tap into something that is rare and lovely. And the way that Bill has it set up is you go through the healing together. So each individual person gets an Akashic Records experience and a healing, and then we all are part of it. as it happens, and it's just quite amazing. So still space available. Check the website, get your registration, and then we'll see you on that Zoom link when it's time. We've got our book group meeting again, I think for the last time in July, coming up on Tuesday, but you don't have to have been to the other ones because we kind of take the Course in Miracles experiment and apply one of the exercises that we've worked on for those of us that have been there during the week, and then give the opportunity for anybody that might come in that is new to reflect on that exercise and maybe even to kind of try it out right there with us around. So a lot of fun there. We have on Wednesday night is our Death Cafe, which we hold every 3 months. And this is a space to come and speak about the idea of death and what it means in our lives. It's something that we often don't talk about, but it's a very, very, very real component about in our lives. And it works out much better for all of us if we are open and honest with our communication, with our feelings about it in ourselves, and with the realities of the life that includes this event. So please join us Wednesday evening at 7:30 for our Death Cafe. Next Saturday, Reverend Fran has been spearheading an effort to begin the great purge, as it were, of a building that has to be placed on the market. I know that when I'm in there now, it's a little stressful thinking, wow, this has got to be ready to go. So, in order to help us move some things out and to help you maybe secure some things you might have wanted or seen along the way, we are having what I'm calling the Treasure Hunt and Haul Day. So, all you have to do is bring your bags and boxes from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. and fill it with whatever we have out. And it's going to be office supplies. It's going to be dishes from the kitchen and other kitchenwares, some other stuff along the way. But just some basic stuff to get us moving with this process of moving things away. So Treasure Hunt and Haul. All you have to do is bring your boxes and bags, and then fill it up, and then just leave that little donation with us, with your credit card or with a check, and you will have helped us. Hopefully, you'll have helped yourself by getting something fun, and you'll have helped start unloading the stuff that we have. I'm going to ask Reverend Fran if she has any other things to add, but I gotta make sure she can unmute herself now. So, Reverend Fran, anything to add?
Good description. I'm not sure about credit cards. I don't know if we know how to do that.
Oh,
But
we'll have the Clover, so yeah,
bring your cash in your checkbook. They're wonderful treasures. I was there for 2.5 hours this morning, just bringing out the treasures from the back closet, and all kinds of things in the kitchen, from pots and pans to spices. So just browse and join us. We'll be there from 10 in the morning until 4 in the afternoon. So come and say hi and find some things you can use.
we're way overdue on hugs, guys. So this is the time. Come and do it. And I think that is all for today. Oh, we also have coming up, so I want to make sure everybody gets on their calendar the second weekend of August. I think it's Sunday, August 8th. We have a guest homilist, our guest speaker, Reverend Joanne Dawkins, who is a very good friend to ISD. And then following that service, we will have our final official Comparing World Religions class on Islam with a very special guest instructor that is a friend of Reverend Fran's, and really excited about kind of concluding that class and then also working with Reverend Jim for a special addendum to that series. So look for that as well once we secure the details for that. So
And Reverend Rob,
yes, ma'am.
Martha would like to.
Oh, Martha, good. I can't see anybody here today, so please feel free to share.
Thank you. I just wanted to remind everyone that we're almost coming up on the first full month of the $1 a day project. And I hope that you've been thinking about ISD every day as you place your dollar in your red envelope. So at the end of the month, it'll be time for you to have collected at least 30 days. And if you started the day that I announced it, you may even have close to 35 days worth. So please remember that. It's going to be exciting to contribute this. It continues to make sure that all of us are putting our energies, our love, and our care into our spiritual home. Thank you.
Thank you, Reverend Martha. Thank you for spearheading this effort and reminding us that, a little bit, once thought once a day, maybe more. You know, it's the cost of a cup of coffee or a Starbucks. Maybe not of a latte, but you know what we mean. So think about us. We think about you all the time. So we appreciate you. I think that's it, because now it is going to be time for our affirmation of spirit, where I will give messages to anybody who is showing me their video. So we're going to start there. Don't hide, don't lurk. I'm going to situate myself a little differently here so that I can do this, and we will be good to go. So give me one moment here. I'm going to switch cameras. I'm going to give myself a gallery view so I can see all of you. There you are. All right, you have to play to win, so let me see those faces. Martha, I'm going to start with you today. How are you?
Better.
So I am, I am seeing, yeah, this is kind of weird imagery, but I'm seeing like this, I'm seeing this guardian angel flying around your head, except that the guardian angel looks like it's a her, but she looks like a truck driver. So she's dressed like all in a plaid flannel shirt, and, she's got a little baseball cap on. But I think that what I'm seeing is just, this is a tough old broad, and she is there to remind you that, the strength is there. You are, sometimes you got to drive long hours. Sometimes you got to go the distance. Sometimes it's not fun. Sometimes you got a really, really challenging haul that you're taking with you. But you're trained for this. You've trained for this. You've worked your whole life. You have no choice, and that strength is really there for you to draw on now. And you'll find that you're going to be grateful for it as you move forward. So I don't know her name, Rosie maybe. So give her a little tug every once in a while, and give her thank her for being there and kind of helping you and supporting your strength, because she's got a mean set of like weird like metal like chrome wings as she flies around you. So she's lovely. So enjoy her.
Thank you very much.
Sandra, hello.
Hello, good morning.
It's good to see you. I've seen you like how many times in the last 2 weeks, so nice to see you again. So, I love fairy tales when I was a kid. Everybody knows that. I often see them. What I'm seeing though for you is um, the character of Cinderella, one of my favorites, has been expressed in so many ways over the years. So as I look at you, I'm kind of seeing all of the versions that I know I've seen. There's Leslie Ann Warren and I'm sorry, Julie Andrews and Brandy on the Disney version that was in the 90s. And there's a new version that Andrew Lloyd Webber has been working on in England. And so I'm seeing all these Cinderellas kind of play through you. And I'm seeing a narrative that has always been generally the same, but as times change, evolve. So I think what we're seeing here is in the story that is your life, the essence has remained the same, but the updates happening. Cinderella in the most recent one that I've been listening to the soundtrack of in that Andrew Lloyd Webber wrote, is she's a sassy gal. Actually, nobody likes her at all, because it's almost like it's a Kiss Me Kate or a Taming of the Shrew thing. And but she's had a hard life, and she's not going to be sweetness and light all the time. And I think that we're seeing for you this time of of just kind of modernizing yourself and experiencing um, the things that you enjoy in life, maybe adapting them to reflect what is current in life for you. It's an upgrade. Basically, it's an upgrade. It's based on maybe a little weatherness from life, but it's also humor that comes from it as well. And so, if you get a chance to just check out the story, just to remind yourself that that yeah, the tale might sound the same and might look the same in many ways, but it does evolve, and you are evolving, and um, you know, the prince totally not necessary. Glass slipper not necessary. The real movement and transfer to that royalty comes from within, and I think that's the most modern idea of all. It's really all about you. So your castle is your own, your stuff is your own, and it's just what you make of it. So
That's so interesting. Thank you so much.
thank you. Lorraine,
Good morning.
how are you?
Well, thank you.
Good seeing you. Just like so it's almost like you became it in front of my very eyes, a giant tall sunflower just like reaching toward the sky. I this even the sunflower looks like it smiles even though it doesn't. And I really see you as that. And um the message kind of is to it's not just about like being sunny and light, but it's kind of about standing tall. So the sunflowers reminding you that, yeah, they're pretty, but they're almost frighteningly or unnaturally tall when you're standing next to them. But this is something that you have to do. You kind of have to, like, kind of straighten up that back and straighten that stalk. If you need to get a little post behind you just to kind of clip on for a while, it's going to help you stand tall, because you want to kind of show off that smile. You want to show off the nature that you have, but but that doesn't mean you're not strong. That means that you can, kind of reach over and see others and experience others as well. So stand tall as that sunflower, keep smiling, but really just strengthen up and be confident, and know that that is going to go a very long way in your life, which you already know. So
Thank you so much. Lovely.
Robin Olson. All right. So I know you've been running, and I can't. So, of course, naturally, I'm going right to the. All I'm hearing is pounding the pavement, pounding the pavement, pounding the pavement, pounding the pavement. So, um, let's not confuse the triumph of a good run and running with needing to pound the pavement. Two different things. Pounding the pavement can be detrimental, and it can, tear up your joints and your bones. You're being the pounding the pavement is there as a reminder that to be a successful runner, it's not about that pavement pounding. So, literally, you might want to check your shoes or treat yourself to a new pair. I mean, just the literal
it,
part of it tells me to maybe think about that.
they're a week old now.
All right, there you go.
And
So,
I was running on a dirt trail when I did the 13 miles.
oh, good. So they were like barely worn then. So that's good. So no pavement at all. That's good.
Right.
Yeah. So it's. I think a lot of us confuse that. It doesn't have to be hard. It can, but if you love it, you're going to do it, and just kind of don't overwork yourself. Do it because you enjoy it, and then stop when you don't. If you
I need to hear that. Yeah, thanks. I need to.
Yeah, no, when you start getting back into, I know you start getting obsessed, like, okay, I didn't do it doesn't take very long. So, oh, who else? Virginia, how are you? So I am, so I guess voice might be a theme for you to both deliver messages and to receive, because I'm seeing something about voice for you very, very strongly. And it's basically, I'm seeing this is a guide or an archetype for you, but the big diva opera singer is there. She's like in your shadow here, and she is about to belt that sucker out. And she's there to remind you that it's time. Do your warm up. Make sure you're not going in cold. Make sure you drank your tea and your lemon, and you are well ready to start. But I know just from experience you are very well prepared to just kind of unleash this voice on the world that is awaiting it. Okay, so you've started, but really it's like that was doing scales. Like you're just supposed to get out there and just like let them have it. So, and I think you're going to find that it's going to be just kind of a beautiful ovation that is not validation as much as it is an understanding on the inside of what that voice is. So sing it,
Thank you
girl.
so much. Thank
Sing it,
you.
girl.
Thank you.
All right, Carol McCaffrey. I can do everybody today, I think. So sit tight. How are you? Ah. Hmm. So, not that long ago, there used to be that store at the mall called Glamour Shots. Do you remember? Like teenagers used to go and get their hair teased and their makeup on and take a cool photo. Now I am seeing this as literally kind of like Robin, as perhaps just if you haven't gotten that new headshot lately, maybe you might want to think about it. It might be time to update it or to the updating isn't because of anything that happened with age. It feels like it's time to update the headshot to reflect the you that is emerging. So there's like a collective now that's happening with you, and you're going to begin to see if you, and maybe it's not right now, but you're going to begin to see soon. You're going to look at the person in that picture and go, "Oh wow, that's not the person that I want them to see for the job, because that's not me. I want them to see the me that is there." And it's a nuance that maybe nobody else would understand, but you will understand it in yourself. And it'll be your little motivation to just, yeah, start. You're going to, it's going to, this evolution is subtle and it's beautiful. And, you just might want to it might require just a little updating every so often, but it's really reflective of this kind of beauty that's coming from very slow, deliberate, but successful work. So congratulations.
Oh, thank you. The challenge is once you commit to a headshot, you kind of have to commit to looking like that. I
Yeah,
can't
right.
decide
Every
what
time
I'm
you go
supposed to
in.
do with my hair.
Well, I get, yeah. I mean, the hair is really what got me on the glamour shots thing. Like it's very beautiful and thick, and so, um, yeah, I see possibilities with the hair, in the shot, and so, yeah, it's funny you should mention that because that's really how that's where I started. So,
Okay. Thank you, Rob.
thank you. All right, here we go. Susie, hello.
Good morning.
Nice to see you. Your hair's getting long too.
COVID here.
So yeah, so I am seeing in you a hair theme as well, and it is really Rapunzel, Rapunzel, let down your hair. So the tower is getting really tired and boring. You love the tower, but like many, what we once loved can sometimes become a little overwhelmingly static after a while. So they're encouraging you to kind of figuratively to let down the hair, which you've been doing, and to just use that now as your marker to explore what tiptoe out a little bit and see what's happening there. Yeah, you don't have to climb down because yeah, you're a modern girl, but yeah, it's time to come out of the tower and yeah, use that hair as a reminder. To every maybe when you're brushing it, or maybe when it gets tangled, is the moment that you're supposed to go. Oh yeah, I should step outside for this moment. So whatever is focusing, whatever brings you to that moment in that second, think about it.
Thank you so
Okay.
much.
Good. Reverend DiBiasio, hello.
Hi, Rob.
How are you?
I'm doing fine, thank you.
Good. Wow, this is kind of with the becoming theme, but as I looked at your shirt and the lavender of the shirt, like I went right to uh one of those timed release opening of the lotus flower that is sitting on the pond, and it is of course the symbol of ISD. It's the symbol of unfoldment. It's the symbol of sacred geometry, and so there's a blossoming that's happening, and again, it's almost like an animated GIF where it's going to open and it's going to start again. It's going to open. It's going to start again. It's going to open. It's going to start again, and unexpected and beautiful. And yeah, I feel you. I feel like you're going to like smell the sweet scent of this blossoming that is kind of bloom where you are. Bloom where you stand, and yeah, I see it as something that's very comfortable and fun and a little exciting. So go Lotus, go.
I'll take that. Thank you, Rob. Bless you.
Thank you. Reverend Fran, hello. Hello.
Hello to you.
Um Again, I take my inspiration from what you're wearing. So when I saw the shirt, I saw I heard the words sweet tomato, and uh and I heard the word saucy. So, um, yeah, you are, things are so, we're all in a shift right now in many ways, both at ISD and I think in our own lives. And the sweet tomato, which, if you kind of want to imagine a little cute little cartoon character, I love those. But this little thing is a sassy little thing, is a saucy thing, and there's this savory aspect to it, but then tomatoes always have a sweetness to it because, of course, they're really a fruit. So uh, there's a sweet spot that's coming up for you, and it's kind of like when you pick that perfect homegrown tomato it's not mealy. It's like it's got the perfect amount of juice, and it's just, I don't know if you like tomatoes or not, but like you just add a little bit of salt, and it just brings out this flavor, and it's big and dark and red. And I really see it as related to your upcoming travels. I think you're going to kind of feel that kind of tomato-ness come in, that kind of sassy red, bright, red's a power color, and you're going to feel yourself um, in this color. Um, Before you go, if you get a chance, if you haven't seen it already, I highly recommend the movie Room with a View from 1986. So it's like Judi Dench says to Maggie Smith, I dash out that you had an adventure. You had an adventure. Feign to deny it, and I feel like I think it's adventure time. So go, sweet tomato.
Thank you. Vive la France.
Vive la France. Yes. All right, guys, that's it. My throat is getting dry, and thank you so much for letting me read for you today. As you know, I love it, and we will all talk soon. And I will return to the service and return to my camera for our final prayer. Go sign up for Bill Sanda, whoever hasn't. Am I there? There we are. My prayers. All right. It's our closing prayer, so let us pray. O Spirit within me, O Spirit around you, O Spirit beside us, may we dare to live boldly, because life is a gift. May we dare to live tenderly, because love is the answer. May we dare to live creatively, because imagination is our divinity. May we always become the best humanity we can be. And so it is. Thank you all again. I'll open up, say hello to one another, online fellowship, and then join us for Akashic Records coming up. Linda, hello, hello.
Hello, Linda.
Good to see you. Hi, John Garcia. That's my good friend, John Garcia, everybody. He's
Hi.
been coming recently. Good seeing you. Thanks for coming.
I would like to just say something, everybody. We need to look happy. We have just lived through a pandemic. I mean, we have been given that gift to live another day. I recently learned something. I'm a community cat feeder, and I started feeding the birds around me. I now have 2 cardinals, and yesterday I had a blue jay come to my house.
Ah, auspicious.
But then when I started realizing I'm in awe with these beautiful things, I forgot about the other birds. They're just beautiful as those with color. So yes, so my cats are like, I have 8 cats now because pandemic. But again, guys, let's look a little bit more happy. I mean, we've been given
So smile, damn it. That's what he's saying.
we've been given another day to live. And
Yes, indeed.
it's just amazing that we are living through that pandemic that we've been living through. And as sadly as we could have been one of those 600,000 people that have perished already through this pandemic. We should
Also stay safe then, too, as well.
Exactly. But thank you, guys.
Thanks, John. Thank you.
Thank you for rescuing so many kitties.
Yeah.
Right, exactly.
Oh, here we go. Carol, man after your own heart there.
Guys,
Totally.
I'm behind you right now, just tearing up a bag.
Bye, everybody.
Have a great afternoon, guys. Love you.
God bless everybody.
Hey, Rob,
And
excuse me,
happy
Rob.
Yes.
birthday, Rob.
What day is the church sale 10 to 4?
Saturday the 31st.
This coming Saturday,
Coming Saturday.
it's from 10 to 4. Carol thinks she's seen something that says 10 to 2, but it's 10 to 4.
Perfect.
And it's all kinds of things. So just come and pick and donate.
That flyer, Rob, that got circulated that Virginia sent out, that said 10 to 2. So if that's going out further, it needs to be corrected.
Yeah, be there for. We'll keep people there once they get there anyway. So,
Exactly.
Bye.
all right, guys. Thank you. Love you all.
I loved your focus today, Rob.
Oh, thank you, Carol.
I resonate with it myself in my own life journey.
Good. Yeah, it's a thing to remember that I don't always, I got to work on my own becoming. So, thank you. All right, guys. Thank you. See you soon.
Bye, everyone.